Hello everyone, welcome back to ByteWise by Lavanya. In our previous video, we learned about input and output devices. We understood how input devices help us give data to a computer and how output devices display the processed results. But have you ever wondered, after we type a document or save a photo, where does the computer keep it? Does it disappear when we switch off the computer? The answer is no. Computers use storage devices to save information so that it can be used again later. In today's lesson, we will understand what storage devices are, why they are important, and different types of storage, the difference between HDD and SSD storage units, and how to keep our data safe. So, now let's begin. Before even we see this topic, we'll just have a recap on the previous topic that we have already seen. Let's quickly revise what we learned in the previous lesson. Input devices are hardware that allow us to enter data into a computer. Examples including the keyboard, mouse, microphone, scanner, and webcam. Output devices displays the processed information. Examples are monitor, printer, speaker, and projector. Remember the IPO cycle. First, we give input, the computer then processes the data, finally, it gives us the output. But here is an important question. After the computer finishes processing, where is our work data stored? If you spend 2 hours making a PowerPoint presentation, how can you open it tomorrow? That's exactly what today's lesson is about. So let's see the learning objectives of this session. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to first define what a storage device is. Second, understand the difference between primary storage and secondary storage. Third, compare HDD and SSD and know which one is faster. Fourth, learn about storage units like bytes, megabytes, gigabytes, and terabytes. Finally, understand why backing up your data is so important. Let's start with the basics. What are storage devices? A storage device is a hardware component that stores digital data. This data may include documents, photos, videos, music, games, or even the operating system. Think of a storage device as a cupboard. Just like we keep books safely inside a cupboard, a computer stores information inside storage devices. Whenever you have a file, you save a file, it goes into a storage device. Storage can be of two types. They are temporary storage, where data disappears after the power is turned off, and permanent storage, where data remains even after the computer is switched off. Another important point is that data becomes information after processing. For example, if you type marks into a computer, that's data. After calculating the total and percentage, it becomes useful information. Imagine if a computer forget everything every time you switched it off, you would have to install Windows again, isn't it? So, download every application again, save every photograph again, write every document again. That would be impossible. Storage devices solve this problem. They store the operating system, they store applications like Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, games, and web browsers. They save our personal files. They also help us share files with other people. And finally, they help us create backups so that our important data isn't lost. Without storage devices, computers would not be useful in everyday life. Let's see primary storage. Primary storage is the memory that the computer uses while it is working. It is directly connected to the CPU and is very fast. Okay, there are three important types. The first is RAM, which stands for random access memory. Random access memory temporarily stores programs and data that are currently being used. When you open a game or a browser, it loads into RAM. But RAM is volatile memory, meaning all its data disappears when the computer is turned off. The second type is ROM, or read only memory. ROM permanently stores the instructions needed to start the computer. These instructions called firmware. Unlike RAM, ROM keeps its data even when the power is off. The third type is cache memory. Cache is the fastest memory in a computer. It stores frequently used data so the CPU can access it quickly. Although cache is very fast, it has a much smaller capacity than RAM. So, first of all, what primary memory is the memory that the computer uses while it is working. It is directly connected to the CPU, right? So this primary is majorly categorized into two. That is nothing but RAM and ROM. And we have seen what is RAM and what is ROM. RAM is random access memory and ROM is read-only memory. And then the third type is cache memory. It stores frequently used data so the CPU can access it quickly. Next type is secondary storage. Previously we have seen primary storage and now this is secondary storage. Secondary storage is used for permanent storage. Unlike RAM, it keeps data even after the computer is turned off. Some common examples include hard disk drives or HDDs, solid state drives or SSDs, USB flash drives, memory cards, optical discs like CDs, DVDs, and Blu-ray discs, external hard drives, and cloud storage. Cloud storage means your files are stored on internet servers instead of only on your computer. Popular examples include Google Drive, OneDrive, Dropbox, and iCloud. Secondary storage usually has much larger capacity than primary storage. Okay, this is where your photos, videos, games, and documents are permanently stored. Unlike the primary storage, which is directly connected to the CPU, secondary storage is something that is different from it, and it is a permanent storage. And it could be an external device also that could be connected to a computer to make the permanent copies of data like HDDs, SSDs, USB flash drives, memory cards, and so on. So now let us see, let us compare the HDD and SSD. Now let us see that the hard disk drive, the HDD, stores data using magnetic disks that spin at high speed. The way in which the HDD stores data is using magnetic disks that spin at high speed. Since it has moving parts, it is slower. It also makes a little noise and uses more power. However, HDDs are cheaper and provide large storage capacity. The solid state drive or SSD stores data using flash memory chips. It has no moving parts. Because of this, SSDs are much faster when compared to HDDs. They start the computer quickly. Applications load faster with SSD when compared to HDD. They are silent, use less power, and are more resistant to physical damage. The only disadvantage is that SSDs usually cost more per gigabyte than HDDs. Today, most modern laptops use SSDs because of their speed. Okay, right, isn't it? So in nowadays situation, fast and accurate calculations and processing of data is more essential and crucial. So that is why most of the computers nowadays uses SSDs despite of their cost. And then what are storage units? Let us see that. Now let us understand how storage is measured. The smallest unit of data is bit. Bit is nothing but a single digit. even before we talk about bit, byte, and other topics related to this, let us understand computer can understand only two bits. Those are nothing but 0 and 1. That is why computers are called as binary devices. Binary in the sense only two numerical values. Two numerical value system is called as binary system, in which only zeros and ones are used. So the smallest unit of data is a bit, that is nothing but 0 or 1. Okay, so the 8 bits together, that means 8 combination of 8 bits, either it could be zeros or ones, combined together is called as a byte. So 8 bits together makes 1 byte. A byte is enough to store one character like the letter A. So the alphanumeric values A and such data items are considered to be character values. So to store a character, a single character value, we need a byte space. Then we have kilobyte, that means 1000 bits, and then megabytes, gigabytes, terabytes, and petabytes. Now let us see, 1 KB is, that is 1 kilobit is 1024 bytes, 1 kilobyte. 1 megabyte is equal to 1024 kilobytes. 1 gigabyte is equal to 1024 megabytes. 1 terabyte is equal to 1024 gigabytes. Here are some examples. A small text document may only need a few kilobytes. A song usually takes a few megabytes. Okay, so now let us understand the real world examples so that we can easily understand what could be the amount of memory that is consumed by a file, right? So if it is just a simple text document, it might need a certain kilobytes. Okay, and if it is a song, it might take some megabytes. We usually see this while we download songs and all those. We see the memory consumed or memory required is certain MB. Okay, so and then a movie may need several gigabytes. Modern hard drives often store 1 or more terabytes of data. As technology grows, storage capacities continue to increase. So the most essential characteristic of storage devices being available on computer systems is nothing but for backup and data safety, and also processing, of course. So saving your files is important on a computer, but protecting them is even more important. Computers can fail, viruses can attack, people can accidentally delete files. That's why we should always create backups. A popular method is called the 3-2-1 backup rule. Keep 3 copies of your data. Store them on 2 different types of storage. Keep 1 copy in a different location, such as cloud storage. Always safely eject USB drives before removing them. Use antivirus software. Create strong passwords and never share your password with others. These simple habits can protect your valuable information. Okay, so let's have an overview of what we have learned today. Let's quickly revise today's lesson. Storage devices save data for future use. Primary storage includes RAM, ROM, and cache memories. Secondary storage includes HDDs, SSDs, USB drives, memory cards, optical disks, external drives, and cloud storage. SSDs are faster while HDDs are generally cheaper. Storage is measured in bytes, kilobytes, megabytes, gigabytes, terabytes, and beyond. Finally, always keep backup and protect your data. Understanding storage devices helps us use computers more efficiently and safely. So the next topic in our next lesson, we'll learn about hardware and software. We will understand the difference between hardware and software. We will explore different types of software, and we'll look at many real life examples that make these concepts easy to understand. So don't miss the next video. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope now have a clear understanding of storage devices and why they are so important. If you found this lesson helpful, please like video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to ByteWise Academy. For more easy to understand computer science lessons, please continue watching this channel. Thank you. Happy learning.